The airport was buzzing like any other morning, people dragging suitcases, kids crying, announcements echoing across the terminals. But for Caleb Morgan, this wasn't just any morning. It was the first vacation he had promised his 7-year-old daughter, Lily, in 3 long years. Single fatherhood wasn't a journey Caleb ever planned. When Anna, Lily's mother, passed away during childbirth complications, Caleb was just 24, a confused, heartbroken man suddenly handed a fragile, screaming newborn wrapped in a hospital blanket. He had no parents to guide him, no siblings to support him, and barely a few $100s in his bank account. But he made a promise, right there in that hospital room, to raise his daughter with so much love that she'd never feel what she lost. And today, standing at gate B17, holding her tiny hand, that promise still burned in his heart. "Daddy," Lily tugged his arm, "are we going to see dolphins today?" Caleb smiled. "We'll see whatever you want, sweetheart. You've earned it. Top of your class, remember?" She beamed with pride. But then, something happened. An urgent announcement echoed, distorted by the speakers. "Final boarding call for Flight 209 to Clearwater, Gate B71. Final call. B71? Caleb's brows furrowed. "Wait. B17. B71. He looked at the ticket. His heart dropped. They were at the wrong gate. Panic hit him like a brick wall. He grabbed Lily's hand, sprinting across the terminal. People turned to look, but he didn't care. All that mattered was not letting his daughter down. By the time they reached Gate B71, the boarding bridge had just pulled away. "Ma'am, please, my daughter and we got confused about the gate. Please, is there anything you can do?" Caleb begged the attendant, his breath ragged. "I'm sorry, sir. The gate is closed. The flight's already on the taxiway." He looked down at Lily, trying to mask the devastation. Her eyes, big, innocent, and hopeful, began to glisten. "It's okay, Daddy," she whispered, lying to comfort him. "We can go tomorrow." The attendant watched the heartbreak unfold before her. Something shifted in her eyes. "Sir, give me a second." She picked up the phone, spoke quickly, nodded, and then returned with a different kind of urgency. "There's one more flight to Clearwater. It's overbooked, but there's a possibility. Come with me." Caleb, still breathless, followed her blindly. They were taken to a different terminal, a VIP boarding lounge. He was confused. "Ma'am, are you sure this is for us?" She smiled gently. "A seat just opened. Someone canceled last minute. You've got it." Caleb's eyes filled with gratitude. "You're a miracle worker." "No," she replied with a wink. "Sometimes, miracles find you." Caleb didn't know yet, but this mistake, this missed flight, would soon unravel the biggest twist of his life. Caleb and Lily were seated in the last row of first class, something he'd never imagined in his life. Lily sat by the window, eyes wide with wonder as she looked outside. Caleb sat beside her, dazed and grateful, trying to breathe it all in. A tall, older man in a tailored blue suit sat in seat 3A across the aisle. He wore dark glasses and read from a leather notebook. He looked powerful. When Lily accidentally dropped her plush toy in the aisle, the man picked it up, bent gently, and handed it back with a smile. "Thank you, sir," she said politely. "You're welcome, young lady," he replied. His voice was calm, rich, one of those voices that commanded rooms without shouting. A few minutes later, he turned to Caleb. "Your daughter is very well behaved. Not common these days." Caleb chuckled nervously. "Thank you. I try my best. It's just us two." The man studied him for a moment. "You a single parent?" "Yes, sir. Since day one. It's been a journey." And just like that, a conversation sparked. They talked for nearly 2 hours in the air about life, loss, work. Caleb shared how he was a mechanic by day and delivered groceries at night just to make ends meet. How every penny of this trip was saved over 3 years. And how he still wasn't sure if he was doing a good job as a father. The older man listened more than he spoke. But when he did, his words struck deep. "You're not a good father, Caleb," he finally said. Caleb blinked, stunned. "You're an exceptional one." Silence. Then a deep breath from the man. "I know something about fatherhood. I failed at it. Caleb looked at him, unsure. The man took off his glasses. His eyes were tired, lonely, wounded. I lost my son 4 years ago. Drugs. Rehab. I was too busy building empires. Too blind to see his pain. The words hung heavy in the air. I would trade every dollar I own, just to have him back. Caleb reached out and placed a hand on the man's shoulder. I'm sorry. Truly. The man nodded slowly, tears threatening but held back. As the plane began to descend, the man handed Caleb a card. Just a plain white card with a name. Charles Grayson. CEO, Grayson Engineering. Caleb's eyes widened. That was one of the top 5 defense firms in the country. Sir, I don't understand. Charles smiled softly. You don't need to. But I'm offering you a position. Not because you need charity, but because this world needs more men like you. Your strength. Your love. Your fight. Caleb stared, speechless. Come work for me. Engineering apprentice. Full scholarship if you want to study. Medical benefits. And he looked at Lily, a brighter future for her. The wheels touched down. Caleb's hands trembled. Not because he was scared, but because a mistake at the airport had just turned into a miracle. Lily ran across the green field outside their new home, a modest but beautiful townhouse gifted to Caleb as part of his relocation package. He stood in the doorway, a tablet in hand, finishing his final project for his engineering certification. His phone buzzed. A video message. It was from Charles. Caleb, the older man said warmly, you changed my life too. Because of you, I've started a foundation in my son's name to support single parents. I'd like you to be the face of it. Tears welled up in Caleb's eyes. Sometimes, life closes one gate, only to open another much bigger than you ever imagined. Sometimes, a missed flight is just heaven's way of redirecting you toward your destiny. Sometimes, what feels like a mistake is actually a miracle in disguise. Stay kind. Stay strong. You never know who's watching and what doors are waiting to open for you.